Welcome to a new camera comparison, this time around the OnePlus 13 against the Xiaomi 15 Pro. So let's get started! Autumn here in Wesel, Germany, and we want to compare those two bad boys here, the OnePlus 13 against the Xiaomi 15 Pro. Both feature a triple 50 megapixel lens setup on the back with a 1/1.4 inch size sensor on the OnePlus, where the Xiaomi has a 1/1.3 inch size sensor, so a bit of larger camera sensor. Then we have a 3x optical zoom on the OnePlus and a 5x optical zoom on the Xiaomi, and both also feature 32 megapixel front-facing shooters, and I think we start off with the videos of those front-facing shooters. Front-facing camera, OnePlus 13, 4K 30, but also 4K 60 frames per second possible here on the front-facing camera. So what do you think about stabilization, about the colors? A bit of HDR there, it's a bit hard to do HDR. What do you think about this one here? 4K 30 now on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. What do you think about this one here? What do you think about the stabilization? Colors, 4K 30, 4K 60 frames per second are possible here. What about HDR? Maybe slightly better, but also I think overexposed there, also a little bit of an issue. Both of them don't have autofocus, so don't expect any autofocus here on those two. Main camera footage now on the OnePlus 13, 1/1.4 inch size sensor. Get a little bit of bokeh with the f1.6 that we have here, but it's not the strongest bokeh. What do you think about the colors, HDR and so on? 4K 30, 4K 60 and even 8K 30 are possible, but I think up to 4K 60 you can switch between all lenses. Let's go to the ultra wide angle, which we have now. So this is the ultra wide angle there, and yeah, what do you think about stabilization, colors and so on? And yeah, I'm looking for something to zoom on. Maybe we zoom on the apart motel there in the background. Can you even see it? Let's go to 3x. This is the optical zoom against the sun, a bit of HDR issues there. 6x, and now let's go to the maximum, which is 18x, and now you should be able to read it. Apart motel. What do you think about this one? Now 4K 30 frames per second recording here on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. Sun is coming out now. HDR test. How good is this? And what do you think about this one? 4K 30, 4K 60 frames per second and even 8K 30 is possible on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, but up to 4K 60 frames per second you can change between all lenses. So let's go to the ultra wide angle by tapping on a button. Ultra wide angle, it's a bit wider than the OnePlus, I think, OnePlus 13, and yeah, we want to try to zoom in on something, but this will be a bit harsh with this sunlight there. Let's do it anyways. So the apart motel, let's go to 5x, which is the optical zoom lens there. We can go to 10x, and then we can go up to 15x. So what do you think about this one here? I think it's readable as well, so this is nice. So which one is the winner for you? And as many people are always complaining you don't do side-by-sides, now I have side-by-sides. I have the OnePlus 13 and the Xiaomi 15 Pro here side-by-side with the main camera sensor, but because I'm holding them in both hands here right now, you probably won't get any zoom out, zoom in kind of feature. I can go a bit to the sun. How good is HDR here? The larger sensor size is definitely on the Xiaomi, but is it really winning against this one here? We have to see. So what do you think about this quality here in terms of stabilization and in terms of colors? I think I'm holding the Xiaomi a bit less stable than the OnePlus. Let's see if I can change this. So what do you think about those two here in terms of videography? So here we have the photos. On the left always the OnePlus 13, on the right always the Xiaomi 15 Pro. And if you think I'm doing double work because I have this banner that shows which phone is which phone, it's not on all photos because this Xiaomi for some reason doesn't apply the watermark for selfies. Nevertheless, let's start with the first photo using the zoom lens, the optical one on the OnePlus 13, and using a 3x on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, which is a digital crop on the main camera sensor. I'm using Like Authentic on the Xiaomi 15 Pro for this shot, and you can see that they're pretty similar in terms of colors. There's a slight variation in white balance. It's a much warmer tone on the OnePlus, where it's much going more to the greenish tone on the Xiaomi. I think the Xiaomi is more accurate when it comes to the colors there. When we go in here, also for those difficult flowers here, or this difficult tree or whatever that is, you can see that we have it a bit soft on the Xiaomi thanks to the authentic mode. It's a bit sharpened up on the OnePlus 13 thanks to the default mode, the original style Hasselblad mode that they use here. You can also see the white balance difference here on the eyes of this plant pot, where it's a bit more greenish here and it's a bit more warmish on the OnePlus 13. In terms of detail level, you can also see that the OnePlus 13 grabbed this, iPhone 5C's SIM card, and just through sharpening probably or more contrast, where the Xiaomi 15 Pro didn't. And let's check out this statue here. You can see that the digital crop is of course having less details on the Xiaomi than on the OnePlus 13, where we have less noise and less problems with details, especially on the kid's face there, you can see. And yeah, this is the Xiaomi 15's authentic mode, Leica Authentic, but we also can use the Leica Vivid mode, and I tend to use the Leica Vivid mode for the rest of this comparison because I thought it might be closer to the OnePlus 13, just my imagination apparently, because it's a bit too vivid there. You can see that the change of white balance is also there, so we have a bit more yellowish white balance just like the OnePlus 13, so yeah, might be. The sharpening is up again as well. It's lifting up the shadows a little bit more than the OnePlus. The rest looks pretty similar. It's very interesting how similar they're looking. Also, I think the colors are going more towards what the OnePlus is doing, but the sharpness and detail level is still there on the OnePlus 13. So when it comes to tele at 3x, definitely the OnePlus 13. When it comes to the macro shots, the OnePlus 13 is relying on its 73mm. At least it tells you 3x there when you go and jump into the ultra macro mode. I'm not sure if it's even using it. Maybe it's like also cropping in, I think, from the sensor, the 1X. And the Xiaomi 15 Pro is relying on its 5x zoom lens for this shot. It's a bit more warmish looking there from the white balance there. You can see it already. It's a bit bluish here. But when I zoom in, you can see that there's a little bit of lag in terms of detail on the OnePlus 13. It's a bit less sharp and less detailed. Look at the rings, look at the dust particles there on the opening of these Sony RX0 Mark II that I photographed there. And everything else there, it's like this little hair there that is like less sharp here. So yes, the OnePlus 13, I think in terms of macro photography, is losing against the Xiaomi 15 Pro, even though you have to go a bit further away with the Xiaomi 15 Pro to get a sharp result. It is usually a little bit better than what you can get with the OnePlus 13. Selfies, quite interesting, because on first glance I would immediately choose the Xiaomi 15 Pro, and here, yeah, you can see the Xiaomi 15 Pro, no watermark for the selfie camera, probably because it's not Leica branded. Anyway, the OnePlus 13 looks a bit washed out here, and a bit more contrast, warmish kind of look on the Xiaomi 15, which I usually prefer. But it changes completely when you zoom in. If you crop in, you can see how much sharpening is going on the Xiaomi 15 Pro and how much more natural it looks like on the OnePlus 13. Yes, the OnePlus 13 is also doing a little bit of artificial kind of sharpening things up, beautifying things there, and especially here the sides. And the color maybe too yellowish on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, the OnePlus 13 a bit more realistic. This one definitely in low light situation is going to the OnePlus 13, this selfie battle here, even though it's a little bit washed out looking in comparison to the Xiaomi 15 Pro. Let's take a look at further away zooms, like 10 times zooms, and here you have to crop in on the OnePlus 13 from the 3x, and the Xiaomi 15 Pro can just cropping from the 5x, so it's basically double crop in. And this is a huge difference already. You can see it's a little bit more contrasty, more sharpened up look on the OnePlus 13, but it's like an artificial sharpening. You can see it with the text that looks like totally like redrawn or something like this, where it's much clearer on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. It is not perfect on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, though it has a little bit of haze. This happens when you optically zoom in to the furthest extent of an optical lens there, that you get a bit of more haze, but it's far more natural, and I would prefer these long shot zooms definitely on the Xiaomi 15 Pro in comparison to the OnePlus 13. Main camera sensor here taking the shot. You can see how, I was right then again with the color science to choose vivid for the Leica look on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, but because it's much closer to what the OnePlus 13 has. It is a bit more vivid. You look at the yellow here and compare it with the yellow here. A slightly bit more vivid there on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, but it's almost negligible. And the same goes for the bokeh. Yes, we have a larger sensor on the Xiaomi 15 Pro and a larger aperture, f1.4, but the bokeh is like you really have to concentrate and take a look at. It's almost the same. You can see it here. It's a bit more soft and creamy, where it's here a bit more defined on the OnePlus 13. So it's a little bit of a difference that you can see here. But look at the ISO, where it makes a bit more of a difference, because the OnePlus 13 for this shot had to go 1/100th of a second and ISO 640, where the Xiaomi 15 Pro 1/50th of a second, so much lower, but ISO 320. So yes, it's quite interesting that you see that they're almost performing the same. It's just like even the f-stop number is a different one and the sensor is a bit larger. I would have suggested or would have guessed the Xiaomi could have like getting a little bit lower even there with the ISO, but they didn't. So it's just that the shutter speed is like half. This is why the ISO is also half on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. So very interesting to see this result. Ultra wide angle, I tried to be a bit artistic here in the little cramped room that I had time, because I wanted to do it in the night, but it was raining cats and dogs and I didn't want to go out. So I did it all in my room, low light situation, just to check out the ultra wide angle. I had an impression on OnePlus 13 that the ultra wide angle is not so good and great. And here in this low light, I can confirm it. The processing of texts and sharpness and details is not as great as on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, where the Xiaomi 15 Pro looks a bit more natural. So there's definitely more sharpening going on, and I think at low light situations like this, the Xiaomi 15 Pro gives you a more pleasing shot with the ultra wide angle. Then we come to zoom shots, 2x zoom now on the 24mm on the OnePlus and 23mm on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. As you can see here, both performing very well. I think the OnePlus nails the colors a bit more right. The Xiaomi 15 Pro is lifting up the colors and boosting a little bit there. Everything in terms of text and readability, you can see both pretty much the same. There's not much of a difference there. You could argue one sometimes a bit sharper than the other one, but it's basically the same here. The Moondrop block, I think, looks a bit artificially sharpened on the OnePlus 13, where it's a bit softer on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. I like that being a bit more softer. And also, I think the color is a bit more accurate here on the Xiaomi 15, where it's not so dark, where it's getting a little bit more too contrasty on the OnePlus 13. But this is just like my 2 cents. It's just nitpick, choose the one that you want to, both doing a fine job. Bit warmer here on the Xiaomi 15 Pro than on the OnePlus 13. Quite interesting, because I think the Xiaomi is doing a bit of a better job, because it's a warm light that I have turned on here, and maybe a bit too cold on the OnePlus 13. Then we go outdoors. Yes, I have outdoors daylight shots. I managed to do them when it was sunny even. Sadly, that day, night, it was raining again, so I couldn't do this. But nevertheless, look at these shots and tell me which one you prefer. Without zooming in, I think, and by the way, it's 23mm on the OnePlus, so why the heck is 2x 48mm instead of 47? I can do math, can't I? Should be even 46. Anyway, I don't know what's going on here. Both cannot do math. I'm the only one who can do math. Anyway, what we can see here, much more bluish kind of tint on the Xiaomi 15 Pro and a bit more contrasty look for sure. A bit darker here in the shadow areas, where the OnePlus 13 has everything lifted up a little bit more, a little bit flatter looking on the OnePlus 13. But also look at the sky, a bit overexposed on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, where the OnePlus is having a little bit more details there, especially in the cloud. When I zoom in, you can see the more details there in the cloud, where it's just simply overexposed on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, even though I have on the Xiaomi the Leica Vibrant that usually tends to be better in HDR. But look at this difference here in terms of sky. Which one looks more pleasing? Which one is more realistic? I think the Xiaomi is doing it a little bit less justice, because it's like a bit too light bluish, where it's a bit too dark bluish on the OnePlus 13. So if I have to choose which one was more realistic in this case, in this scenario, I would go rather with the Xiaomi 15, where I can change the blue to be a little bit darker than what the OnePlus is doing with a little bit too dramatic blue there, too darkish kind of blue that we have there. But the other thing that came to my mind when I was zooming in here and look at this is this line here. This is so ugly on the OnePlus 13. What's going on there? It is simply over sharpening the hell out of this shot. And this is one major problem that I see with OnePlus in general, especially now at daylight, even more than at low light. It's sharpening up everything to the oblivion already. You can see how much smoother it looks like, even in the more sharpened up version of the Leica Vibrant on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. So yes, it is sharpening this up. It looks horrible. And then something I never saw before. Do you see this moire pattern here on a building? Yes, it is. It looks to be a bit detailed, but I think it is something that they over sharpen so much there that even like this little moire pattern is, yeah, appearing here on this building, which is not so much. I don't see it here on the Xiaomi. That doesn't have so much detail for sure. It's also not lifting up so much the shadows there. But also here, the rest, look at the roof. It's over sharpening. You see this white line, outline around everything here. We don't have this, a little bit maybe on the Xiaomi, but not so pronounced as on the OnePlus. So this is something that I really don't like on the OnePlus. It's like, yes, when you look at it like this, it looks maybe a bit more pleasant because it's a bit brighter there. People like to tend to like brighter pictures more. And also here it's sharper, but it's not more detailed. It's just like sharpened up to the oblivion. And this is something that you see, and if you see, you don't unsee it anymore, and you don't like it then. At least I don't like it. What I don't like on the Xiaomi is, however, that it's noisy already, and it's a daylight shot. It's ISO 50 on both. And the Xiaomi had to choose a higher shutter speed here. And this is why, probably because it was exposing to the sky a little bit more. It's still overexposed, but I'm not sure what's doing it here. It's noisy, and this is something I also don't like. And like the OnePlus there a bit more, not having so much noise there. This is something where Xiaomi should optimize this a little bit better on their end. Nevertheless, I don't like the over sharpening here. They equal themselves out, I think, in the main camera sensor. It's just the processing is a bit different. Ultra wide angle, and yeah, again a bit more flatter, more HDR-ish kind of look on the OnePlus, where the Xiaomi 15 Pro has this overexposure there. Again, it's like a vibrant mode, and we get a bit of vibrant colors, but look how soft it looks like on the side. And here the OnePlus is clearly winning. It's much sharper, it's much better there in this regard. Even the Xiaomi 15 Pro is a bit wider there. So soft, you cannot really use the whiteness there of this, but the more I go into the middle, the more I like the Leica look of the Xiaomi 15 Pro better, because it is not so artificially sharpened up. Look at the trees, so much sharpening there everywhere. It's much softer on the Xiaomi, much darker, duller looking on the Xiaomi, which doesn't give justice to the day because it was sunny at this day. So it's a bit weird that they fail at this point, where I usually praise Xiaomi for their getting the feeling of the day right, but in like authentic, to be honest. But look at this there. Again, this sharpening algorithm and the white outlines, HDR-ish, it's horrible looking. Where, yes, you can see it on the Xiaomi 15 as well, 15 Pro, but it's not as much overbaked as it is on the OnePlus. And yeah, the Xiaomi has a worse ultra-wide angle than the OnePlus. It's no competition there. I just don't like the over-sharpening on the OnePlus. I think they should have tuned this a little bit better there. Now to the zoom lens. Again, what a surprise. The optical zoom wins against the digital zoom. By how far, how much? And now it looks like, oh, both are failing with some kind of artificial recreation of this sign. No, apparently the sign looks in reality like this. I was like shocked to see that, but yeah, it is like this, and both fail to render this. This is like a bit too dark and too dull again on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. And the OnePlus is a bit sharper there, not so dull. I think it's looking a little bit better there. Also the green grass, you can see it's a bit sharpened up again on the OnePlus, but the zoom shot there is better. But as soon as you go to 120 times or 6 times, which is 146 millimeters on the OnePlus, zooming in, you can see how noisy it gets. I'm not sure why it's going in this noise format then. And even if I zoom in a little bit, like crop into the same kind of field of view, you can see that the Xiaomi with its 5x is doing much better. So yes, no surprise, optical zoom wins against digital zoom. So that means the OnePlus up to 3x is better in terms of zoom than the Xiaomi 15 Pro. But we have to see this in portraits as well, if this is true. So 48 versus 50 millimeters, so 2x portrait mode on both. Both with the challenge of sun coming from the side, both failed in this sense that they have an overexposure there. When it comes to the detail levels, I think on par with the main camera sensor. This is why I probably will give the main camera sensor the same kind of points there. So the OnePlus has an okayish kind of main camera sensor, but at 2x it's not doing so great, but the Xiaomi neither. But the colors are better on the Xiaomi, on the OnePlus. Not so contrasty. My hair color is much nicer. This is much nicer. It's too dark. It's too dark, and it's just too dark. The eye colors as well is too dark on the Xiaomi 15 Pro, where it's much nicer on the OnePlus. When it comes to the next shot, let's go to here, because we can choose 75 millimeter, which is like the crop of the main camera sensor on the Xiaomi, and the OnePlus has its native one. You can see how sharpened up the OnePlus again is, and how much softer the Xiaomi is here in this regard. So which one do you like better? The Xiaomi is definitely softer, a lot softer. Not so detailed as the OnePlus. Most of the people would like go with the OnePlus, and I tend to agree it's too soft on the Xiaomi, even though I like the colors a bit better on the Xiaomi, because it's a bit, yeah, look at my color here, it's a bit too red, going into more of the red kind of color there, warmish kind of color on the OnePlus, that it's not looking so realistic. But whenever I go to the optical 5x zoom, what you can see then is that the color is the correct one and the sharpness is there as well. If I zoom in a little bit there, you can see that then again the over sharpening on the OnePlus is apparent, and here I tend to lean towards the Xiaomi 15 Pro having the better kind of shot at this portrait mode there. And then selfie portrait, let's do it again. You can see in this case it's washed out on the Xiaomi 15 Pro for some reason against the sun shooting there. I like the bokeh balls a bit more here on the Xiaomi, but the shirt's color is way too lifted up, where it's a bit too dark on the OnePlus, but the OnePlus is taking the lead here. And also here you can see how artificially sharpened up and yeah, weird it looks on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. So yeah, this is a win for the OnePlus here. So I would say main camera sensor the same. The selfie is a win for the OnePlus. The ultra wide angle is a win for the OnePlus. The zoom, I lean towards the Xiaomi 15 Pro because I can get away with the 70 millimeter being a bit worse than the optical on the OnePlus, but the longer zoom is definitely something where the OnePlus struggles a lot and where the Xiaomi is winning. I don't like the OnePlus's over sharpening at all, so this is an issue here. And where I would give the zoom definitely to the Xiaomi 15 Pro. But what is your opinion? Write it down in the comments. Now low light test with the OnePlus 13 indoors, sadly, because outdoors it's raining, so I cannot really go outdoors. With a little bit of light there in the background, and we're walking now away from the light, now turning towards the light. How well does it look like? How well does it handle this situation? And what do you think about the video quality here of the OnePlus 13? Is it a bit noisy and grainy? And how much grainy it is? Yeah, you decide. And now the same test on the Xiaomi 15 Pro with the light there in the background. We have a larger sensor, larger opening, f-stop number, so it should be performing a little bit better. Now, yeah, turning towards the light. What do you think about this one here? Is it as grainy as the Hasselblad powered OnePlus? What do you think about this one here? Using the default video mode, not the night video mode. Nighttime photos, like with the daytime photos, basically the same with the main camera sensor, not much of a difference there. We have a little bit more flare, I think, on the OnePlus than on the Xiaomi for that matter. In terms of sharpness and details, I think the Xiaomi is slightly better. Also with the noise levels, you can see there's almost barely any noise visible on the Xiaomi, where here, look at the shades there. There's a bit of noise visible on the OnePlus. So yes, the OnePlus has a bit of a weaker sensor, the main sensor there, but it's not a huge difference where I would say this is something totally unusable. So for the main sensor, I think it is the same with the Xiaomi 15 Pro, slightly worse maybe, that's it. Ultra wide angle, we know already the Xiaomi is worse than the OnePlus. Look how soft and loss of detail. The OnePlus is also horrible with over sharpening and trying to get a bit more details in there. You can choose your poison there, but they are bad both for the ultra wide angle. Zoom lens 3 times optical is of course better on the OnePlus. For some reason the Xiaomi at 70mm crop on the main sensor is completely unsharp. I'm not sure what's going on here. And we have nice details there on the 3x lens. That is, I think, pretty solid. And when we go to the 5 times versus 6 times, 6 times is a cropping on the optical one. We can clearly see that the 5 times, even at 5 times, is better than the 6 times crop on the OnePlus. Let's go to the same kind of 6 times. You can see, yes, it is a bit more noisy, a bit more processed looking, where here it is a bit more clean. And look at the advertisement board there. Also much cleaner and better on the Xiaomi. So yes, this is a win for the Xiaomi. And the more you zoom in, the more it becomes clear. 10 times zoom here, you can see the overexposure. So HDR is not handled so much in OnePlus. And all the other things here, nice, readable here. Even almost the very fine kind of font and writing down below the logo of the bakery there is readable. And the more you zoom in, like 30 times, for example, the more processed it looks like on the OnePlus, and it's barely unusable, and it's very usable on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. So yes, the Xiaomi 15 Pro has the better zoom capability, worse ultra wide angle, and on par with slightly better, I would say, the main camera sensor here. And then we have selfies. Selfies is better. We saw already on the OnePlus, and I think I still agree to this. It has like some kind of greenish kind of hue here on the Xiaomi 15 Pro coming from the illuminated display for some reason. It looks a bit nicer, warmer there. Not so over sharpened as the OnePlus is, but the OnePlus in general, when you zoom out, it's, I think, the better picture there. But you can be the judge there and tell me I'm completely wrong here, but I think even though it is a lot more processed looking on the OnePlus, I think the OnePlus is doing a better job there with the selfie cam. So what do you think? Write it down in the comment section. So the conclusion, TLDR, the Xiaomi 15 Pro gets 4.475 points, where the OnePlus 13 gets 4.430 points. So you can see they're very close together, but nevertheless the Xiaomi 15 Pro is winning this competition here. Why is that the case? The main camera photo quality is basically the same. I see sometimes the Xiaomi 15 Pro slightly ahead with less noise, especially in the dark, but in daylight it's almost no difference. This is why I give them the same points there. Ultra wide angle is worse on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. It's soft and it's towards the sides, towards the edges. It's getting very soft, and the distortion is pretty clear. With the OnePlus 13 is pulling ahead a little bit with a little bit of narrow field of view there, but it's sharpened up, a bit over sharpened, but in general I think you get more visible, and even if this over sharpened look is slightly better than the Xiaomi 15 Pro's too soft kind of look. Zoom camera photo quality is very close, I would say, especially when it comes to the up to 3 times zoom capabilities. I think the Xiaomi 15 Pro at 2x is doing slightly better, but when it comes to the optical 3x, then the OnePlus 13 of course beats the Xiaomi 15 Pro, even though the Xiaomi 15 Pro is not so bad. But you will see it definitely when it comes to portrait shots with the zoom camera, that the OnePlus 13 gives you a little bit more details there, even as a bit over sharpened there. But if you want this more details in a person's face, then you get it with the OnePlus 13. The Xiaomi 15 Pro shines with the 5x and upwards. For longer zoom ranges, it's definitely a lot better. So this is why the Xiaomi 15 Pro gets the 4.4 points here, so 0.1 point more than the OnePlus 13. Video camera recording quality is basically the same in daylight, but it's falling apart on the OnePlus 13 at night. You saw lots of artifacts, lots of over processing, lots of noise that is not really reduced properly, and the Xiaomi 15 Pro just simply beats it here at night. this is why video recording quality is a bit better. Otherwise, both are doing fine. The Xiaomi doesn't have any issues with external mics here on the 15 Pro at least, and the OnePlus 13 never had this issue, so it's working fine. Autofocus performance on both are basically the same, and front camera performance is basically the same there with 4.4 points. Yes, at night I think the Xiaomi 15 Pro is doing a little bit worse than the OnePlus 13, but overall the performance of the OnePlus 13 is not, also at daylight maybe slightly better on the OnePlus 13, but it's the same with the slightly better with the main camera photo quality on the Xiaomi. This is why I'm ruling them out. One is like a bit over sharpened, over processed looking, the other one is like a little bit too soft, or sometimes like getting the color wrong. In this case the OnePlus 13 gets the color sometimes more wrong on the front facing camera, where the Xiaomi 15 Pro has it a bit softer there for sure, but gets the colors more accurate in my opinion. And when it comes to the camera UI, the OnePlus 13 is basically using the same as Oppo in terms of camera. It's the same camera software. It is okay, it has improved a little bit there, but it's still not on the same level as the camera UI on the Xiaomi 15 Pro. With like one tap you can change the timer there, you can disable the timer, such things, very convenient features. And yeah, the camera UI on the Xiaomi is more sophisticated than the one on OnePlus. Video mode has a Pro mode, for example, which is very cool indeed, and some other highlights there. So Xiaomi offers a little bit more there with the camera UI, and it's a bit more easier to use. Extra features, in terms of extra features, they're very, very close together, but the Xiaomi again is pulling ahead here with the more extras, especially in the Pro mode, that allows you to set various different profiles for your Pro mode that you can easily switch to, which is very handy for photo enthusiasts that like to take nice photos. So this is the score. Let's take a look at the ranking list there. Where does this lead the OnePlus 2? And this is the rank 8 here, as you can see on my ranking list. So right beneath the Huawei Mate 60 Pro and the Magic 6 Pro. It's a pretty good value, I would say, especially when you take a look and take into account the price that you pay for the OnePlus 13, way cheaper than the Xperia 1 Mark 6 when it came out. And you can see it is pulling ahead of the 1 Mark 6 there, with a few points there. The Xiaomi 15 Pro, however, it's the 6th spot, so 2 spots more. Why is that the case? You can take a look at here. The zoom camera photo quality is doing a lot, but also the video camera recording quality. If the OnePlus can put more effort into the video recording quality, especially at low light, and get this done a little bit better, then I think we have like them on par with the Xiaomi 15 Pro even, if necessary. Otherwise, of course, the software as well. Camera UI can be improved a little bit better and a little bit more, and yeah, sadly the Oppo, you can see there's the same kind of camera software, so same kind of ranking there. But if they would really put some more effort into a proper Pro video mode and such things, quick and easy, accessible, with one hand accessible features there, just like Xiaomi does it, then they would also win a little bit better there in terms of the camera UI. So in general, what do you think about this ranking here, this place here? It's above the iPhone 16 Pro, which is quite interesting, where the iPhone 16 Pro has a weaker main camera sensor, and maybe I should try testing them out side by side as well, so we can see how they perform against each other. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, bye.